Hello and welcome to the Career Corner, where we answer your career cues. My name is Lukas Kauffman. I'm your host, and today I am joined by Jennifer Ochiagha to talk about a very important topic that I think a lot of students have at least some experience with, that being mental health. Jennifer, welcome to the Career Corner.
Thank you. It's such a pleasure to be here.
We're very excited to have you. Very important topic. Mental health is, I'm sure everybody's at least heard about it in some
Mhm.
capacity. I would love if you could explain what mental health means in general and why it's particularly important for students.
Yes, of course. So, when I think of mental health, I think that it's an umbrella term that acknowledges one's social, emotional, and psychological well being. And then when we think about those three pillars, I believe they play a significant role in how we think, feel, act, interact with one another. And to answer your second question, how does mental health impact students? How doesn't it? Right? Because say if I am a student who has a more positive, or just in a more positive mental health space, right? That's going to play a big role in how I go after opportunities. I may go after them with more confidence and more sureness of a positive outcome, similar to social dynamics. If I am in a more positive mental health space, I may engage with my peers, teachers, so on and so forth, with just, again, more of a positive outlook, a more open arms, as well as more of security in how I'm interacting, as opposed to if I am looking at things from a more negative framework or I just have a more negative overall mental health, I may navigate things with a little bit more anxiety because I am thinking about the negative outcome of it all, right? It may be a little difficult for me to get out of bed in the morning because I'm tired, and not just tired because I didn't get enough sleep. I'm just tired because I'm tired. So I do think depending on where you do fall within that range, it does play a big role in how you show up in classes, how you show up for those around you, and really, and most importantly, how you show up for yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that's definitely true. Mental health impacts everything you're doing in your life. Kind of leads back to that mental health and that state that you're in. What are some of the most common mental health challenges that students face that kind of impact those aspects of their life?
Hmm. I would say anxiety and depression, definitely for college students, impact them significantly. So, one, anxiety of this is a new space. I don't know everybody here. And if I am dorming, I really don't know anybody here, right? So, there's anxiety of going into a new space. How am I going to do? I think that even with academic success, in ways that maybe weren't as prominent in high school or middle school, that academic competition can arise, of who is going to be the best in the class, who is going to get the most networking opportunities, so on and so forth, who is going to show up and show out. And that can be very anxiety inducing. And now, because we're only human and we go through oh so much, so maybe it's relationships, maybe it's friends, maybe it's missing family, you know, that can add to depression, or if we aren't doing our best academically, and maybe we were a student where academics was easy for us, or we're a student where we really wanted to try and do our best and it's not working in the way that we thought it would, it's going to make anybody sad, and it may decrease motivation to do certain things. So now I'm getting to class late when maybe it was easier for me to do it earlier when my mental health was at a better state. So I think anxiety and depression definitely are two mental health challenges that affect college students the most.
Yeah. So I feel like a lot of the time, and this is based on a little bit of my own experience, I'll be, going through life and I'll be struggling with some of these things and I kind of won't even realize, and it'll build up and then get to a point where it's a lot worse than it could have been if I'd been addressing it. So what are some early warning signs that students can look out for to, be aware that they might be struggling with their mental health?
Yes. Number one, I would say burn out. Because I think that there's a lot of students when they get into college, they may feel this urge to join everything. Nobody wants to miss out. FOMO is very real. I don't want to miss out on the parties. I don't want to miss out on the cute library sessions. I don't want to miss out on working on campus. I don't want to miss out on joining all these different types of clubs and activities while also trying to do well in school. We can easily get burnt out. So when you're feeling fatigued, like just so tired, even though you did get a decent amount, that is an early sign that, maybe we need to take a moment. When I'm feeling irritable, right? So, say if my friend wants to talk to me, or even my friend or my boo, whatever it is, wants to talk to me, and I just don't have any patience. I'm so annoyed. Can't really describe why I'm annoyed, but I just know I'm annoyed. Maybe that's a sign. If I'm a little bit more sad than I usually am, and not so sad to where I can't get out of bed, but sad to where maybe I'm not all the way present. Maybe I'm thinking about all the different things I have to do, and it's really hard for me to stay present in the moment. I think those are a couple of signs to show that, okay, maybe we need to take a step back. Maybe we need to check in. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So whether you're in those early stages and starting to notice some of those signs, or you're later down the line and experiencing some more major issues, what are some resources that students can access, whether those are online, like apps or methods like that, or on-campus resources? What can students do if they're noticing these signs or experiencing any mental health struggles?
Okay, definitely. I think a lot of schools do offer counseling. I think it's usually called the CAPS in a lot of different schools. So, one, if you need to talk to somebody, maybe you're not ready to talk to your family, maybe you're not ready to talk to your friends, but you do just need to talk to someone. I think that a lot of schools do offer that as part of just being a student at the school. And I think that that is a great resource. I think another great resource is leaning on the people who care about you. I think when we're not doing our best, we just want to stay away from everybody. I don't want to talk to you, please. I just need space. We begin to isolate. Let's try not to do that. Let's try to talk to our friends. Let's try to connect with them, because they may be going through the same thing as you know? And sometimes we just need to be seen. Sometimes we just need to be heard. Sometimes we just need to even be held, and reassured that things are going to get better. Some other resources that you can tap into. I'm a firm believer that positive words of affirmation really do assist with the way that you think about the day or how you want to go about your day. So, whether it's happening onto online podcasts or YouTube videos, there's things that are easily accessible to just give you a boost of positivity. Last but not least, I would say mindfulness techniques. Sometimes you might just need to go for a walk, play some music, and take a deep breath. Take your mind off of whatever you're going through and what you're thinking of, and just try to tap in with just your breathing, right? Or Insight Timer. Insight, INSIGHTS Timer, TIMER.com is a free website that gives thousands and thousands and thousands of different audios of guided meditation. And it is on any type of topic, whether it is about depression, anxiety, navigating social situations, just it's so broad, grief, extremely broad. I would say to tap into that as well. Again, sometimes you just need to check in with you and listen to something positive or listen to something that helps you feel seen, you know? So
Yeah.
those are a couple of resources I would say.
Absolutely. And Jennifer, I'm realizing right now, I was so excited to dive into the topic of today's episode that we forgot to talk about you. So really quickly, now that we're already, 10 minutes in here, introduce yourself and what you do, your experience, your position. Why are you here talking with us about mental health today?
Yes, of course. So my name is Jennifer Ochiagha, also known as Miss Jenny. I am the founder of the mental health and wellness brand Mind Matter Mantra, where in that space we host wellness events or offer wellness events to different spaces, to schools, as well as psychoeducation. So teaching individuals of different ages and different types of groups about confidence, contentment, gratitude, emotional regulation, y'all, boundaries. Love me some boundaries. Anxiety, depression, just different types of things, as well as group coaching. So, and outside that, I'm also a full-time clinician. So I work at Be More Counseling as well as Empower Yourself Counseling. I had the opportunity to work with my professor when I was in grad school at NYU. I got my master's about a year ago. Yes, we're almost approaching a year of getting my master's in mental health and counseling. And I had the pleasure of working with my professor in this new job. as she, yeah, is my supervisor. So that's really exciting. And as well as working at the private practice, I did my internship in when I was in grad school. So yes, just a couple of different hats that I hold. And yeah, I really love the industry. I think that for a very long time, I always wondered how it felt to move in your purpose and do something that really feels extremely fulfilling. Originally, when I was an undergrad at Ithaca College, I thought I was going to be a doctor, a pediatrician to be exact. And sometimes life has better plans for you. And some advice that I actually want to leave in regards to that is just because you may not like where you're at the moment doesn't mean things are not going to get better and make more sense in the future. Sometimes the things that feel really hard to hold on to, sometimes it's okay to let it go. It's easier to let go of a boulder than to keep holding on to it just to say that you're strong. So, with my own personal experience and being able to navigate first the medical field to more so the mental health space, I think that it was the most exciting transition I could have ever done. And I feel like it really resonates with the person I am now. I think that there's so much beauty in life and in people. And I think sometimes we just need someone to talk to, express ourselves, feel seen, feel open, feel appreciated. And doing the work that I do, as well as meeting the people I have the pleasure of meeting and knowing them in the complexities in which I know them, I couldn't help but feel like I'm walking in my purpose. So, yeah, that is a little bit about me.
Amazing. Apologies for bearing the lead there on that. You mentioned really incredible, very powerful advice that I feel like sometimes students, while comparatively young, in their late teens and early
Mm-hmm.
20s, that's still a long time to have been living. And sometimes students are hearing these kind of things for the first time. There's a lot of stigma surrounding mental health, even now
Mm-hmm.
that we're moving into a world where it's more talked about and it's more open, but still a lot of people, depending on where they're from, might not have had access to information like this. So how can we work to reduce the stigma surrounding mental health in school settings?
Yes. Something that I think that can be done to reduce the stigma is normalizing it. Because in all actuality, we're human. We get sad, we get angry, we get frustrated, we feel happy, we feel excited, we feel motivated, we get irritable. We feel all the different things normally, naturally. You feel that, your family feels that, your best friends feel that, and so on and so forth. So recognizing that not only is that something that we feel often, but it's okay to discuss. When you ask me, hey, how are you feeling today? Are you okay? My answer might not always say, yeah, I'm fine, because I might not be fine. So I think the way that we internalize the term mental health, as opposed to looking at it as, oh my God, there's something wrong with you, it's more so, oh, you are feeling this human emotion in a more intense way. Tell me about that. So one, I think the way to destigmatize it is by changing the narrative surrounding it. um, I think something else that can reduce the stigma of mental health is more conversations about it, just making it just more open, and more resources easily accessible to students, whether it's in orientation, letting students know, hey, you have CAPS. If you're ever going through something and things are tough, go to CAPS. We want to talk about all the amazing clubs. Love that. The sports team's fabulous. Where to eat. I know you're hungry, but where do I also go when I'm not feeling my best? And letting that be a part of the introductory process when stepping right into college. I think that would be really helpful. So,
Incredible. Great advice. That's wonderful stuff.
thank you.
Quick pivot, talking about students, we're living in this very digital age,
Oh,
and
yes.
myself and a lot of other students, I know probably everybody, is connected to social media in some way, whether it's Instagram or TikTok or YouTube. How is that playing a role in mental health in our modern day?
Unfortunately, I feel like it's playing a really negative role. Have you ever heard the phrase comparison is a thief of joy? I think that rings sound to how social media impacts people's feelings towards their own accomplishments or where they're at in life. There's a constant comparison of, am I as good as this person? Or I seen them post this picture where they're out in the country. Am I doing that? Am I not doing enough? I see this person has the latest bag, shoes, whatever it is. Am I not making it enough? We're the same age. I see that, so on and so forth. And number one, you can post whatever you want on social media and it does not make it accurate at all. I can say I got the latest whatever, and I could just be borrowing it from a friend. I can tell you that I'm at the Bahamas, but in all actuality, I'm right here in New York with a nice background, you know? So when we lean into social media so deeply for our answers and where people are at, that is only 2% of a person. That is curated content to make sure they look their best. So how could you compare somebody's edited, already done version to your realistic version? We're not even comparing the same things. And we don't even know the accuracy of what we're really comparing. So, and that could even go as long as even looks, not even just success. But that's a whole conversation about the beauty standard, which also does significantly impact the mental health of the youth. But maybe that's a different topic for another day.
Yeah, absolutely. And are there other ways beyond comparison? Are there other ways that social media is negatively impacting health, like tech addiction or anything like that?
Yes. I think that we're, I feel like we're heavily reliant on our phone. Even me, when my phone isn't around me, sometimes I'm like, whoa, what's happening? Where did I lose it? Where is it? Where are my AirPods? Where's my where are all my things? Right? And I feel like there's become this dependency on our devices, so much so that we may not even go outside, or if we are outside, we're not even really taking in what's around us. We're more so locked in on what we're looking at. Mindless scrolling. I'm wasting 6 hours on TikTok or on Instagram just scrolling, so it makes us procrastinate a little bit more. Because when you're scrolling, you don't think that you're losing so much time. It really just feels like 10 minutes, but no, it's been an hour. So I think that there is that addiction when we think of, or maybe even addiction is a strong word, but when we do think about it and our reliance on our devices, it could also be interpreted in that way. And yeah, and I do think it changes people's concept of reality because of what we're seeing in line and because what we're heavily intaking, the way we view our actual world may not feel like it really correlates. And I think people's perception of their world feels like it should match what they see online when in all actuality, it's just not possible sometimes. So, yes, I think people lose track of reality as we are so heavily involved in our devices.
Yeah. So correct me if I'm wrong here, but it sounds like whether it's in regards to your mental health or your usage of technology, your relationships, the most important thing to do is to be mindful of what you're doing and how you're feeling because that can really impact you. Do you feel like that's an accurate takeaway from what we've talked about today?
Definitely, definitely. You know, being mindful of just what you intake, whether it is the people that's around you, whether it is the words that you say to yourself, whether it is the books that you read or the videos that you watch, because it does impact how you view yourself and view your world. And most importantly, you deserve, I should say, to feel good about yourself. You deserve to feel positive about your world. You deserve to feel like you can do it all and be it all and have it all. You deserve to feel all those things because nobody's better than you. Nobody who has more money than you, nobody who has more education, nobody is better than you. And just because society conditions us to view ourselves as less than when we look at other things and other people and so on and so forth, it doesn't mean that we're any less. You are on your own journey and you are working to be what you want to be. And even if you don't know exactly what you want to be, give yourself some life experience. You'll figure it out. You're okay. You're doing just fine. So, yes. So long-winded, but that is the takeaway.
Amazing. And before we close things out here, I just want to ask you really quickly if there's any final pieces of advice you have, and also you mentioned that you have you work at a couple different places. So final advice and how can people access the resources that you're offering?
Yes, of course. So, final piece of advice, you're doing okay. You're all right. You're going to be okay. It's tough now and it sucks, but it's not always going to be like that. And the stage you're in your life is preparing you for who you always wanted to be. And sometimes growing doesn't always feel comfortable. Leaning into habits, people, things, spaces, whatever that you actually want to be a part of, it's not easy. So the hard work that you're navigating through now that sometimes feels overwhelming, anxiety inducing, sometimes even a little bit sad, you're gonna be okay. And if you need that break, take that break. If you need to go to bed, go to bed. If you're tired, it's all right. It's all right. The world's not gonna end because of one bad grade. The world's not gonna end because of one bad conversation. The world's not gonna end because of one bad breakup. You are going to be just fine. And if anything, this is just gonna teach you more of what you want or more of what you don't want. And where you guys can find me, you can find me in a couple places. My mental health Instagram page is Mind Matter Mantra, MindMatterMantra. And if you would like to book me as your therapist, which would be lovely and phenomenal, you can find me at either Be More or Empower Yourself Counseling. So Be More is spelled BEMORR, or Empower Yourself Counseling. And if you ever need, yes, facilitation, hosting of a wellness event, please feel free to reach out to me through my Mind Matter Mantra page. And yeah, I think that's about it.
Amazing. Jennifer, thank you so much for joining us today on the Career Corner.
Yes, the pleasure is all mine. You guys are so fabulous. I'm so
And folks
excited.
at home, oh, sorry, I'm interrupting you. I'm so sorry.
No. I just want to give you your props and credits that, yes, such a fabulous interview, such a wonderful energy, and it's
Oh,
such a
thank you.
pleasure. Yes, and it was such a pleasure to join you guys.
Absolutely. And folks at home, you don't have to wait till next episode for career guidance. You can visit Drop-In Hours Monday through Friday, 11 to 2 in Muller Faculty Center 101. I'm Lukas Kauffman, and this has been Career Corner.
Bye, y'all.